So this is January 2024, number 8. We just do number 8, then we go into another past paper, right? Okay, so the diagram below shows the graph of two functions on the same pair of axes, right? The lines G and H are perpendicular, right? So once you know two lines are perpendicular, you could determine that if you have one gradient, you can find the other gradient, right? Hi. So let's go. So determine the equation that represents the line G. So we're looking at the line G. Everybody see the line G? So two things we have to figure out here, right? We have to figure out what the gradient is. So that's, I'm gonna get blue. Right. So we need to figure out what the gradient is, which is common G, right? And we need to figure out what the y-intercept is. Okay? We need the gradient. Kia, you messaged me for something. What you wanted? What coordinate? Circle. Construction and bring it. All right, we go see. All right, let you go. Okay, so we need to figure out what the gradient is, and we need to figure out what the y-intercept is. So straight off the bat, what is the y-intercept? What is the point on the y-axis that the line G is passing through? It's clear there like this. What's the y-intercept? 3. Everybody seen that? Proper thing, right? Let me erase this. I can put this as 3. You see that just done? Let me highlight it, right? Your y-intercept for G is the point on the y-axis that G is passing through the y-axis at, right? So we have the y-intercept. We need to find the gradient. Okay? So in order to find the gradient, we need to highlight 2 points on this, the coordinates of 2 points on this line. That will be this point here and the point where the y-intercept located. It's not going to be 3 alone. The point where the y-intercept is located is not going to be 3 only, right? So what are the coordinates of this point? Let me hear anybody. What are the coordinates of this point? What is the x-axis value here?
Negative 0.
For this one, 0, comma. That's wrong, right? It's not 0 first. It's -6 first, comma 0. Okay? So those who don't know, this point here, which is the origin, would be 0. Okay? So that coordinate there, which is actually the x-intercept, would be -6 on the x-axis and 0 on the y. Now this coordinate here, which is my y-intercept, what are the coordinates of this point here, my children? 0 on the x and 3 on the y. So we have the coordinates of 2 points on this line. So we could find the gradient, right? So let me write the 2 coordinates here. We have -6, comma 0, and then we have 0, comma 3, right? What is the formula for gradient of a line? Belt it out, somebody. Formula for gradient of a line. What is the formula for the gradient of a line? Y2, that man now coming on you on top of things. Y2 minus Y1 over proper thing. That man now walking in, that man out China land, walking in. What kind of thing is that? There we go. Right. So, or look at least help man tell me what Y2 is. What is Y2? What's Y2 here, Tristan? This is X1, Y1. A baby no here right now. X2, Y2. You all seen it? What's Y2? 3 minus 0 over 0 minus -6. Proper thing, right? A negative and a negative down here will be a, right? So what this will be equal to? What is the gradient here? M will be equal to 3 minus 0 is 3, and 0 plus 6 would be +6, right? 3 over 6 could be reduced to be what? 2? I could have swear I hear somebody say 2 while I was hearing things. Jada, you said 2? Right? 3 into 3 is 1, and 3 into 6 is 2. Proper thing, right? We get into the Cristiano?
Yes, sir.
Right. Here out, we found the gradient. We have C also. So I'm coming on the side here. So you have M, which is a half. You have C, which is 3. Can we now write the equation of the line in the form y is equal to mx plus c? I just putting in M and I'm putting in C. So let's go. Y will be equal to what is M? Plus what is C? That is the equation of the line G. Equation of G. Everybody good there? Anybody have any questions? Go and give all the time to write it down. I want to say this because I was doing coordinate geometry in my morning class yesterday and people keep getting tied up with this, right? Your y-intercept is just the digit, the single digit that represents where the line passes through the y-axis. That's the y-intercept. Now, the coordinates of the point for the y-intercept is something different. That will be the 0, 3. Everybody clear on that? So you have the y-intercept, which is 3, and then the coordinates of the point where the line cuts through the y-axis is 0, 3. Two totally different things. Just yesterday I did it with the morning class, and they kept getting tired. They were getting tired up with this. All right? Everybody clear there? Right. So the next thing they are asking us for is to find the equation that represents the line H. So what's something? Line G is represented by G. Edwards, you have a question? I'm not sure. I see Edward's hand come up. Right. A half x, what was plus 3? That's the equation of this line. Everybody good there? Now, if we have the gradient of this line here, which is G, was equal to a half. Let me see who remembers this, right? In order to find the equation of H, which is this line here, and it's perpendicular to G, all right? How do I get the gradient of this line here? You have to flip the original gradient, so 1 over 2 becomes 2 over 1, right here? And multiplied by what? We call it the negative inverse. You flip the original gradient and multiply it by, anybody? -1, boom, bang, right? We call it the negative inverse. So 2 over 1 multiplied by -1 would give me -2. So that's the gradient of this line. Now, in order to find the equation of a line, right, if you don't have C, for the question, for the part 1, we had C, we had the y-intercept. Do we have any y-intercept for H? Do we have where the line is cut into the y-axis? No. So here what? We could use the formula to find the form, right? To use the formula to find the form, we have the gradient, which is -2. You also need the coordinates of a point on the line. Is there any point on H that I could write down the coordinates for? You all see this point here? What are the coordinates of this point? What is it on the x-axis? 4, what it would be on the y-axis? 0, proper thing, right? So we have the coordinates of a point on H. We have the gradient of H. So you know what's the formula we could work? This is 4, 0. We could work the formula to find the form, which is y minus y1 is equal to m open brackets x minus x1. This is x1, this is y1. Everybody good there? So that's a plug in now. So let's plug in. This will be y minus what? Y minus 0 is equal to -2 open brackets x minus, right? Get rid of the brackets, right? -2 by this bad boy, -2 by this bad boy here. Y minus 0 will be what? Y, right? You just get y. -2 by x will give me -2x. -2 by -4. Negative by negative is a 2 for 2s are 8. Kia, Jada, all good here? Right? Princess, I know you're not rolling. So that's try to fall in, right? Everybody good here? This is the equation of H. Right? This is the equation of H. Proper thing. Right? I'm on pause. So next, they want the coordinates of the point P. Let's see where P is. We're going up. Ooh, P is the where the two lines intersect, right? Now, we have the equation of this line. Give me the equation of H here. We just wrote it down. What is the equation of H? We just did that. Y is equal to negative 2x plus 8, right? I raising some of the noise here. I find that too much noise on this question, right? So I reason this. I reason this, you reason this, you reason this. I just even need two equations, all this. Too much noise here. Right, so I just leave my two equations, right? Now, in order to find the coordinates of a point where two lines intersect, you simply have to solve those two equations simultaneously. Everybody hear me? We call it the system of solutions, the solution to the system of equations, right? So in order, let me write that as a note. So let's write it in red. Note to find the coordinates of a point where two lines intersect, which is like cross. I just put cross also, cross in brackets, where two lines intersect or cross. We must solve them. Well, solve the equations simultaneously, right? Just don't give me two equations there. What's the first one? Y is equal to what? What's G?
Y is equal
a half x plus 3, and the next one, y is equal to plus 8. Equation 1, equation 2, right? So we got a new substitution method, right? I'm going to substitute equation 1 into equation 2, right? So all this means, right, for both of them, right, for the first equation, we have y is equal to a half plus 3. For the second equation, we have y is equal to negative 2x plus 8. So I'm going to take, it's like I take any two equations and I put them to be equal to each other, right? So I'm going to take this, I'm going to highlight it. You see this bad boy here? I'm going to take this and replace y here with that. Cool? So we teleported. So let me go. This whole thing here come in here, right? So instead of putting y, what I put in? Call it out. A half x, plus 3 would be equal. So that take the place of y. So this will be equal to negative 2x. This took the place of this y. So I have to put this equal to these things here. So a negative 2x what? Plus 8. So we need to find x. What are we moving? What are we moving here? We want to find x. I go fling this negative 2x here. And let me fling this 3 here now. Everybody good there? So a half x didn't go anywhere. I put the marker half x first, right? Negative 2x becomes what when it comes to the left? Positive 2x, proper thing. And then 8 didn't go anywhere. Put back 8 first. Positive 3 becomes what when it goes there? A half plus 2x will be what? That will be 2.5, 2 2s are 4, 5 over 2. Everybody good there? A half plus 2 is 5 over 2x, right? And this will be equal to what? 8 minus 3. What is understood between this 5 over 2 and this x? What is understood in between here? Right, we divided, but multiplication is understood here. So when I carry 5 over 2 here, I do the opposite of multiply, which is to divide. X will be equal to the 5 here divided by 5 over 2. When we do 5 divided by 5 over 2, what do we get, my children? 5 divided by 5 over 2 will give me 2. That's the value of x. Now, the mission of a simultaneous equation is to find the value of x alone. No, we have to find the value of what, Kia? We find the value of x. What we have to find the value of now? Huh? Where say Jada? I think Jada said y. Excellent, Jada. Excellent. Find the value of y. So, I'm going to take this 2, substitute anyone, substitute into equation 1 or 2, right? What we using 2? You've actually used 2, so you're going to use equation 2. Easy, I know half and thing. So y will be equal to negative 2x. So x in this case is 2. Negative 2x what? Plus something, 8, right? So 2 multiplied by negative 2 will give me what? Negative 4 plus 8 will be equal to 4, positive 4, right? So therefore, therefore, the coordinates of the point P would be, what's the x value? 2. Comma, what's the y value? 4. Let's go. Let's go differently, okay? So to complete the square, let me write down the initial quadratic here. This is 4x squared minus 24x plus 31, right? This here is a quadratic in the form ax squared plus bx plus c. So what would a be equal to? So therefore, a is equal to what number? What is? A is 4. B is what? Negative 24. And C is? Right? So I have two basic formulas. It's 31 and looking 31. Right? I have two formulas to find H and K. So you want to write in the form, write in the form A open bracket x plus H squared plus K, right? Memorize these formulas, you're good to go, right? H is equal to B over 2A, right? Everybody good there? Okay. K is equal to 4AC minus B squared over 4A, right? Just memorize these formulas. You'll never have a problem with completing this. All right, let go. They plug in, right? H would be equal to negative 24 over 2 multiplied by 4. When we work this out, what do we get? Negative 4 2s are 8. 24 divided by 8 will be negative 3. Proper thing. K, let's go with K, right? 4 by 31 minus negative 24 squared all over 4 4s. They break these bad boys down. They break it down first, brother. Where again for the top? When you work on the old top, 4 4 16, 16 by 31 as well. Somebody just punch it in, nothing. Brother man, if you're doing that, you have to cross out this here and you have to cross it on the next side too. You have to work out the top. The answer you get is why you divided by 16. Could somebody give me the answer for the top, please? The numerator, which is all of this, please. Let me put it in red. Somebody work out this, please, my children. Proper brackets. So what is it? It will be that over 16, right? Negative 80, right? Everybody got there? Negative 80 divided by 16 now. What we get? Negative 5. Boom, bang. Win the game, right? Win the game. So therefore, we'll have A open bracket x plus H squared plus K would be negative 80. Proper. So A is what A was some above? 4? And it was 4, eh? 4x plus h, right? Plus negative 3 will be minus 3 squared. Plus negative 5 will be minus 5. This here is how we complete the square using my two formulas, right? I don't do it the other way. This is how I do it. I use the formulas. Memorize your formulas, right? Everybody good there? Question. Rishi, go ahead, brother. I might have to give you all some notes here. And this is the next thing too. When I do any questions, I not just doing the questions. I give all the notes too. So it's things you could pull back and remember. So like this question here. On the axis below, sketch the graph y and 4x squared minus 24x plus 31. Indicate the coordinates of the maximum/minimum point and the y-intercept, right? So I'm going to remind you all what the maximum and minimum point is, right? It's in red somewhere. Note the maximum/minimum point is given by negative h comma k. Negative h comma k. Right, Julio? Just I know you pumped last night, boy, but try, boy. Try. I know you had them labs to do last night. Try, fight it. You gotta fight it. Nobody ain't coming to save you, no, brother. Not a soul. There we go. Right. Negative h comma k. So let me just write down what the minimum point is, right? Well, it's a minimum point. And next thing I want to write here. So this is the beauty of doing past paper drills. I want to put something, right? So if given ax squared plus bx plus c, right? And a is greater than 0, implying a positive number, then the quadratic is a minimum. You good there, Julio? Julio, you must be learning more than you ever learned in your whole life here. Right? Minimum. Well, you see? And I was telling you, right, if a is greater than 0, then the quadratic is a minimum. And if a is less than 0, then the quadratic is our, I think, is our maximum. Is,
you can do the hill and valley thing.
The
hill and the valley.
So your minimum curve would be a valley and the maximum curve would be a mountain. Everybody good there? Okay? Proper thing, right? Scrolling up. So I still write my minimum point here. It's a minimum point because A is a positive. It's greater than 0, right? So my minimum point, right? This is the coordinates of the minimum point is negative h comma k, right? So that will be equal to what? What was h? You all have it there. What was h? Negative 3? It was, right. So it was positive 3, right? So it will be negative h, so it will be negative 3, comma, what was k?
So it was negative 3.
Right, it was negative 3, so it will be negative of negative 3, right? Comma, what was k? Right. So a negative and a negative would be a, so this will be positive 3, comma, 5. Negative 5, sorry. Negative 5, right? So let's work, right? Our minimum point. So, A, from the time you all see the word sketch, you all see the word sketch here? Sketch means freehand, eh? Okay, let's put as a note. Note. Sketch. So anytime you see the word sketch anyway, you know you're doing it freehand, right? Sketch. You'd rather get no graph. You'd rather raise your hand and ask the examiner where your graph. Sketch means freehand, for lack of a better phrase. Free hand, right? So let me draw this freehand. So some of the things I have here, right? Right, the y-intercept, I didn't tell you all what the y-intercept was. So, okay, we need to write another note. So it come like a little learning here while we doing these past papers, eh? So another note here, right? Note. To get the y-intercept, So to get the y-intercept, we make x equal to 0, right? Or not we make. To get the y-intercept, let x be equal to 0, right? So when you let x be equal to 0, it means that you are equating x as 0, right? So the original quadratic was y is equal to 4x minus what? 4x minus what? All in, write it down. 4x squared minus 24x.
24x plus, but it's negative.
Right, and what was the last one? 31, right? So we're going to equate x as 0 because your y-intercept is basically where the curve is cutting through the y-axis, right? So that'll be y is equal to 4 by 0 squared minus 24 by 0 plus 31, right? 0 squared is 0. 4 by 0 is, right? And then 24 by 0 is, so your answer is just 31. That's your y-intercept. Y-intercept. Cool? Right? Right, let go. Indicating the coordinates of the maximum / minimum point and the y-intercept. So I really know the y-intercept is 31. So it's a sketch, so it's a gauge. You just put 31 up here. 31 will be somewhere quite up here, right? Now, the next thing you have to show would be the maximum or minimum point. The minimum point will be positive 3 on the x-axis. Let me see that somewhere here. And then negative 5 on the y. Let me see it a little lower down here, right? Negative 5. So that coordinate would be here. You go there, Julio? That coordinate would be here. So let me draw a curve, right? I want to draw a curve. Let me see if we could bring it down straight here and then go up straight here, right? So let me go. You can sketch it with all your hand, and it's a freehand thing. So sketch it, curve. So I'm starting up here, and I'm coming down straight through here. God, now wait, I ain't gonna work by. Delete that. Insert. All right, let you go. Gotta come a little sharper, like here, so. All right, boom. All right, that's how I'll go shift it, eh? All right, let you shift it. Hey, the curve's supposed to look something like this, but it's supposed to go through. All right, let me move this point. That's all. We're going to move this point. Let me move the point. Because I wanted to go through here, right? Boom. All right, let me move this bad boy. Right, bang. Right, chitty chitty bang bang. Right, so this is your min point, right, which was 3, negative 5. And then you have here, I put some points here, but we off that by far, right? Then you have your y-intercept. Remember, this here would be your y-intercept. Y-intercept. right? Everybody good there? Everybody good there? Let me go down. The last thing they're asking for is the state the equation of the axis of symmetry. Let me write a note. Jump out. Note. The equation of the axis of symmetry. Symmetry means what? If we talk about a line of symmetry, it's a line that cuts the curve in one half, two, exactly half, right? So the equation of the axis of symmetry, which is a straight line that cuts the curve in half. Yeah, exactly. Exactly in half. My brother say you want exactly. Exactly in half is given by x is equal to negative each. Right? That is the equation of the axis of symmetry. So sometimes they will also ask you for the value of the minimum / maximum curve, well, quadratic, or is sometimes asked like is the value of y. When you bounce it up, we'll get it. So the value of the minimum or maximum quadratic curve is the value, or is given by k. Right? So if they ask you for the value of the maximum minimum point, it's given by the value. So our answer here, which is the equation of the axis of symmetry, will simply be x is equal to, is it negative of -3? And h is -3. So x is equal to 3 is the equation of the axis of symmetry, right? It's simply a line, a straight line that comes through the middle, right? And the equation of that line, if you watch it here, a straight line, watch it. I'll put it in red. The axis of symmetry is actually, the equation of the axis of symmetry is the equation of this line here. A line that goes straight through the center of the curve, right? So the equation of this line would have been x is equal to 3, right? This is your axis of symmetry. Everybody good there?